I appreciate everyone's attendance. We will go ahead and begin with an invocation offered by Commissioner Hadfield, and then our assessor, Rod Bennett, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day, for the opportunity which we have to be able to be here and to be able to live in this great land. Father, we're grateful for all the people who serve and to help make this place a wonderful place to live. This time, Father, please bless those who are in our service that are helping with the fires and policing. Please help them. They may be protected as they are trying to help serve the people in our communities. Father, please bless those who are also in the armed services that serve us here close by and also abroad. Father, please help those victims who have been affected by the shootings this last week, and please help our country that we may be able to come together and heal. We're grateful for this land and for the many good people that are in it, and we pray that we will have thy spirit with us this day as we make decisions and try and move the business of the county forward. We ask for these things humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and follow me as we pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. Just a couple of items. We did have some correspondence, and so I think we've each got some of that, and so we'll go ahead and take some time and just go over these. Do you want to start, Commissioner Hadfield?
Yeah, I've just got a letter here that was from the Stagecoach Freight Wagon. They had their National Stagecoach and Freight Wagon 12th Annual Conference in Tremont, and they just sent a letter here, and I was just going to read through it really quick. It says, Dear Box Elder County Commissioners, thank you so much for your contributions to the National Stagecoach and Freight Wagon Association's 12th Annual Conference in Tremont and Promontory Point, Utah. The Board of Directors and conference participants would like to extend our appreciation and gratitude for your support of the event and the NSFWA mission to interpret, educate, and preserve the legacy of commercial stagecoaches and freight wagons, which were integral to the development of the Western United States in the 19th century. The conference included 135 registrants from across the United States who saw and learned about the significant history of transportation around Tremont and Promontory Point, Utah. We greatly enjoyed our time at many locations around Box Elder County. The NSFWA greatly appreciates your support with this conference and looks forward to sharing our experiences in Utah with others. Thank you. Sincerely, Catherine McKee. And it's also Eli Anderson, who's the conference planner and host. So we just thought we'd read that. They were great when they were here during the 150th celebration, and it was a good thing for everybody.
So technically Bothwell. We're not going to say Tremont. It's Bothwell.
Okay, Bothwell.
I'm just kidding.
We'll throw that in there. Just don't ask me to say NSWA again.
Tremont is a suburb of Bothwell,
That's
right?
exactly right.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. Okay. This came, and I don't have permission from the individual to say where it came from, but we're just going to go ahead and read this because I like this email. Dear Commissioners, I live in Mantaway, and as you may be aware, there has been significant growth in town, and with the county's assessment rotation, including Mantaway this year, I had questions about the significant increase in my property value assessment. So with my questions, I called the county offices and had the pleasure of speaking with both the assessors and auditor's office personnel. They provided great service and an explanation of the processes and opinions. They also provided additional follow-up with me. I asked for a field review of my property and feel very comfortable with the talent, fairness, and professionalism of our county employees and believe the results will be fair to the county and myself. Corey in the assessor's office was particularly knowledgeable and helpful. Thanks for doing a great job for us. So, especially with our assessor, Rod Bennett, we wanted to let you know thanks. Anytime that you go out and you reassess and revalue, there's always going to be some concern. And so we appreciate you answering those questions and taking care of things. So thanks, sir.
And you're going to follow it up here pretty quick with us anyway, so that's good.
It's nice to hear some positive things that come
Yeah.
through. I think it's, because but he made a great point, and I think it's way undervalued, and a lot of people don't realize what great employees we have here and how knowledgeable they are. So,
Thanks, sir. Okay, any other correspondence or anything?
I'm on the agenda, so.
Okay. All right, very good. Have you had a chance to review minutes?
I have. I'll
Okay.
make a motion that we approve the July 3rd minutes.
And I'll second that. Commissioner Hatfield was not here for that one. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Maybe one thing we ought to talk about is,
We've also got the 17th.
okay,
I'll make a motion, we approve the
sorry.
July 17th minutes, 2019.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good.
Aye. Sorry, I
Okay.
was slow. As you know, the fair and rodeo and stuff's coming up, so this is the first year we've had reserve seating, so we've done a really good job. Marla says we've sold
18?
1850.
1,850 tickets so far in the reserve seating part of it, so I think it's going to turn out really good. And then the concert tickets are on sale at skicpr.com for the Friday night before the Honor Flight concert. And then you go to goldenspike.com, goldenspikerodeo.com, sorry, to get your seats. And if you're smart enough to click on the section, it'll actually show you the view of where you're going to be sitting. We were there yesterday, and a bunch of cars kind of drove in, and they got out of their cars, and they walked over to the sections, and they were sitting down in different sections and looking to see where they were going. So it was pretty cool to watch. But, yeah, we're excited to see the improvements and things for that. So we thank everybody who's been involved, and poor Marla's had to put up way too much with me lately, so we appreciate her doing that. And Jan, too, and everybody else.
Yep.
Chrissy, and I mean, like, the list goes on and on and on, so thank you.
Very good. Yeah, it literally starts next week. Concert on the 17th, and then event starting the following Monday and going through Saturday. I believe it's the 25th. Yeah, so 24th.
Yeah.
So, okay, very good. All right. Any former agenda items or anything?
I think
Okay, Corey, you said there weren't going to be any fires, but I guess we need an update.
yeah, would you please?
Thank you.
Nice haircut.
Hey, thanks. I like that. Okay, so just in wildland fires since Sunday evening, we've had 36. 11 of them are still going right now. The largest was the Russell fire. That was 6,000 acres, followed by the Curlew fire, which was just over 4,000 acres. We had a new start today out by Shelter Pass. We currently have a Type 3 crew working out there at Shelter Pass. They were able to shift resources back over from that.
Where's Shelter Pass?
Shelter Pass is Hog Up Mountains.
Oh, okay.
And right now we're going from Shelter Pass clear over to Big Pass. So we've got quite a, I don't have an updated acreage on that, so it's pretty good size though. We had last night yesterday afternoon about 1:30, we broke out there. They call it Rattlesnake, but it was actually up on top of Hansel Valley on the west side, right by the big radio towers. We were able to divert a lot of the support from Shelter Pass to that to protect that infrastructure in the one house that was threatened. We've got it hemmed in at about 500 acres right now. So currently 11 on the books, still working. We've got resources. We've got state ICs on every one of them. So we've got great support out of the state, BLM, Forest Service crews, running our guys in the county pretty ragged right now. I just trying to find a couple engines to head out to Shelter Pass right now while I'm sitting in the back of the room. So the one thing that's been a real shining note on that, and I mentioned this earlier, the ICs of all these incidents are just overwhelmed by, first off, the quality and the work that our volunteers are putting in out there. They know the country. They're very aggressive firefighters, but yet they're still safe. And then the road crews, they have been amazing out there. They were questioning the abilities of our crews last night on the Prospector Springs fires, but we got 2 graders down there right off the bat, and they were absolutely blown away. That became the main road for the fire. They've done such an amazing job. So everybody's working hard. Everybody's getting tired, but let's get some of that monsoon rain without the lightning. So
Yeah.
Dusty actually was going to call me because he thinks that Sunday night broke a record for lightning strikes in an area in that amount of time.
yeah,
so.
he's looking into that. So, but like I say, we've got 36 confirmed new fires.
If
since
nobody
Sunday
was
night.
around there, it was actually, I was telling these guys, it was actually turning my lights on and off. There was so much electricity
Yeah.
in my house, it was turning my lights off and on.
The Russell fire and the Curlew fire actually burned in together, so they wound up doing that as a complex fire. We were talking about Promontory earlier. We had 9 different strikes out on Promontory that all started fires. So they put a line around the Golden Spike Monument to preserve that. We've had crews staged right out of there. We've had several fires in that area, so it's been quite a few days for everybody.
You
No
know,
structures.
No structures.
The closest was Marble Hills.
Marble Hills, well, we had the Ward Ranch right off exit 12 threatened last night.
Oh, yeah, Jay Golden.
First dozer or first patrol come in and went there and put a ring around that, and we actually set up water tender operations and dump them from the helicopters up there. We've had amazing air support. We were dropping the VLATs, very large air tankers out there. That's the big 747s dropping, and the pilots are good. They've done a great job for
we
us.
sat there and watched them on the fire right by my house. They
Yeah.
were amazing to see that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how huge they were and how pinpointed they could just.
Yeah, they bring it right in, follow that chase plane in, but everybody's holding up. They're doing good. Like I say, we've got almost every warden from across the state up here working fires for us. So we've had everybody. We've got the state FMO out there running fires for us, helping us. So Brad Osler, he's been doing a great job for us, and he's been very impressed with the work that's being done out there by our folks.
Probably
At least there's no drones out west.
Yeah, we haven't had any drone incidents, luckily.
Good.
shout out to the UHP because that night about 1 o'clock in the morning, they came and actually led our patrols and stuff out there
Yeah.
so they came and took us out there with UHP, or else we wouldn't have got out there so fast.
Yep, and we've had great support from them. Last night we had them standing by. We thought the Prospect Springs was going to shut down 84. We were able to get our dozer crews were able to get around it and put a stop on it.
That's awesome.
That dozer Bruce is amazing, where he'll take that thing and the work that they can do. So, great job for them.
Well, be safe.
you,
Yeah,
Willie.
if you need anything, let us know.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
Appreciate your work.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Seems like we went right from flood issues on the agenda to fire, so. Okay, Commissioner Summers.
Yeah, hey, about, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, I got a actual Facebook message that said, hey, I'm a concerned citizen and would like to do something with this old decrepit, whatever you want to call it, eyesore down well, we found out it wasn't in Bear River City and right on the county line. And I said, what attachments do you have to the place? She says, nothing. My parents just live in Bear River City and I'd like to get involved. And man, as soon as you said anything like that, I gave her a couple phone numbers and away she went. And we just got everything cleaned up. I mean, Corey and the fire people were involved. We had a burn out there. We had the county landfill involved that brought down dumpsters and was able to help clean it up with the road crew, but nothing would have happened unless Julie would have got involved. And I think the best thing that's happened since then is kind of turn the time over to Hatfield about what Bear River City's done with the property now.
Well, Bear River City's purchased the property, and they're looking at putting in a fire station there where, like we did in Deweyville, where it'll have a couple of garages. It'll be added on to the existing structure there, and it'll be a good thing. It'll be a good thing for Bear River City, and so we're excited about it. So the Central Fire District is going to try and take that on, and with the help of Bear River City and the fire district and the county, why, we should have it done here within a year.
So the quote from JFK always comes into my mind when something happens like that is not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I realize we're just a little county, but when we have citizens that get so involved that, you know, honestly, all I did was just connect the dots and she did everything else. So Julie, do you want to come up here, and is there anything you want to say, or? Oh, well, there's a mic.
If you'll just state your name for the record.
Oh, you bet. Julie Matson. It was July 24th last year that I messaged you.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just been a year.
Yep. So I just would like to express my thanks to Stan Summers, because I wouldn't have been able to begin something like that without, without some direction and some go-ahead, and knowing that I could have something in the way of support like that. And I was so impressed with his response time, because I'm sure everyone here knows he has a plate that's overflowing. And I was taken back that he would respond in the same day to such a little fish kind of a deal. So,
Thank you.
yeah, my thanks to you. The reason that I decided that maybe I could help with that, those reasons grew, and the reason that I continued to push forward. So initially, it was to take away that eyesore that was there every time I went and entered into Bear River City. As I got involved, I became aware that it was a house fire that took a life. And as I got to know April,
Don't be crying or I'll be crying.
okay, get the tissues.
Okay.
As I became aware of her, oh no, oh dear. As I became aware of her story, you know, my thoughts changed from, can't someone do something about that, to, holy cow, this girl needs help, because she thought that she was going to have huge efforts and a lot of money involved into that cleanup, and she couldn't bring herself to step foot on that property, because that's where she lost her dad. So it became a way to help her. And as I got to know her and got to know what her dad, Gene Bunderson, was like, I realized that he gave a lot for all of us. He was a Vietnam vet. And so over the past year, all those efforts, I loved it. I'm a little crazy like that. I loved all of it. I loved getting dirty and cobwebs in my hair. I loved all of it. I thought, wow, how do you pay back someone that gave that sacrifice to serve in Vietnam? And I thought maybe this is a small way.
And that'll be great when we see a new
Yeah.
firehouse sitting there on that land. What a great tribute and honor for
It's
that being able to do.
Bit of a sad irony, but I think that
I think you'll be okay with
he's
that.
happy, smiling down on things. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to Corey Barton, all the volunteers. I was really humbled to see all the help come together. It was really great.
It was amazing. We got a little something for you. You want to come out? So we get a picture. Chris, you'll get a picture of us, so we can post it on the website. I think I spelled your name wrong. We might have to do another one.
Oh,
We will.
So,
I have a few names now.
get in here.
The paper says I'm Julie Mitten.
Well, I think that's where they got it from.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so. Yeah. Here's your gold special, 15, there's only 2,200 of them made, so.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let's find another project.
We should save that for last.
I know.
Okay,
I'm going to be a mess all through the thing, so.
all right.
And Julie, you guys can go unless you want to really stick around and watch us.
We will not be offended.
We will not be offended.
No.
I'm going to go work on the slideshow that I meant to send to you before today.
You're
If she
fine.
goes down-
And we'll have you
Go down
back.
with Chris, she can fix the name on that.
Okay.
And if you want another name on that,
Yeah,
just let us
Chrissy,
know.
I think Chrissy's going down to work on it right
Go
now, so
downstairs, she can get that changed for you.
get it corrected.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, let's see, 510, forgiveness on taxes.
That's
Is this one Western Metals?
Yep.
Okay. Come on up.
our friends from the north. Sit down and state your name and
Hopefully your hearts are still open as I talk about some forgiveness of taxes. So my name is Ryan Skippenboard. I'm a controller with Western Metals Recycling. So Western Metals Recycling recently, so we're owned by the David J. Joseph Company. As we're trying to adopt technology, we changed the process that we process our accounts payable. It's a very automated process now. When we submitted the personal property tax filing in February or March, it was received by our corporate office. Our accounts payable is processed in Cincinnati. The way our system's set up is it's an automated process. So a computer will scan the invoice and then process the invoice. It looks for invoice, like the word invoice, and then an invoice number so that it can then be entered into our system. Because of the way the filing came, it didn't specifically say invoice, and so it was discarded. Okay, it didn't get processed. So in early July, we received notice that you hadn't received our payment yet, and we quickly got a check turned around. We paid the full amount of the taxes owed. We did receive a second letter saying that we had been assessed a late fee and interest on the property tax owed because it was paid late. So there was a late fee of $12,524 and interest of $1,160. So I've come to plead with the commission to ask, considering Western Metals' involvement in the honor flight, the rodeos, Bear River, and we contribute thousands and thousands of dollars a year to the local community, and we always pay taxes timely. This is just a one-time anomaly in the way our tax filing was processed through our accounts payable. We asked that the commission consider our situation and see if there's anything that we can do about the late fee and interest. Anything that you'd be willing to forgive would be greatly appreciated.
And one thing I can tell you, as soon as they found out, they reached out to me and contacted me and says, what do we have to do? We've sent the check, now what do we have to do? So it wasn't like it was, we're trying to call them, trying to find out where the money was coming from and when it was coming and things like that. So you guys have been up here 30 years?
God, since
38 years? Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I think 38 years, and I think employee
I don't know
is 100. How many people you employ up?
Between the two facilities, I think it's 160.
160, that's what I was just going to say. So one of our mainstays in the county. So I think we kind of talked about this before when we'd had these type of things come up. And I explained to you, we actually had Nucor
yes.
kind of had the same problem that came up, and
Well, this gets to be a delicate subject because of the situation. You start getting on a slippery slope here.
Understood.
And that's the thing, as we've looked at it, and again, you guys have been in the community and been involved and done a lot of great things in the county, and we do appreciate it, and we hope to continue doing stuff with you guys. In light of that, and with kind of what we've looked at before, obviously the next time if it happens, there's really, it's got to be enforced.
Yeah. Understood.
I would recommend or make a motion that we forego the late fee and just charge the interest for that.
I think that's something that we've done in the past because things do happen. But, as Commissioner Hadfield states,
Understood.
Yeah, and
Under-
that, I mean, that's a chunk. That's a chunk, and we absolutely appreciate what you do and getting that taken care of. Sometimes technology,
It's an excuse. We,
well, it's supposed to make our lives easier, and sometimes it doesn't. So anyway,
yeah, no,
but it happens. So okay. So is that a motion,
Yeah,
Commish?
motion.
I don't have a problem with that. Like I said, we've kind of done that stuff with that before where, and I can't remember, I think Nucor's penalty was like $100,000 and, you know, and that just made me cringe to think that a penalty and taxes can be that much. But then when you look at what your guys' things go through the county and things like that, we just appreciate everything you do, you know, in Box
Absolutely.
Elder, because you could choose to go someplace else and not be a part of Nucor and that kind of stuff. And hopefully, you know, the Union Pacific Bridge is being done will help you. Now you can get heavier trains. You can, you know, be able to get some more stuff done with that way too. So saying that, yeah, I think it's okay if we just do the interest. So I'll second Commissioner Hadfield's motion.
Okay. Very good. We have a motion and a second to forego the late fee and just charge the interest on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
thank you.
We're good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up.
thanks
I
for
didn't know
coming
you
in.
had to bring the whole posse, but,
We spent the day at the mill. So
oh, really?
group from Salt Lake, so kind of increase your numbers for the meeting.
Good. Tourism tax on top of that.
Well, take them to Peach City before you go home.
In terms of, do I just talk to the property tax
Yeah.
Yep.
and they'll
Yep.
be
Yeah,
aware of
and
it?
they'll take
Awesome.
care of it. So,
Thanks, you
okay.
guys.
Hey, thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks for coming to downtown beautiful Brigham, Box Elder County.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's see. 5:15 is Jason Libert. Come on up, sir.
Don't know the formalities, so forgive me.
Just do what they just did. Just come in and sit and state your name
I'm
and,
Jason. Okay, I'm Jason Libert.
Libert.
I'm here on, you guys want my business card? Do you guys care for that?
I'm good. Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my work card. I apologize for not being on. I actually totally spaced that last docket I was on, and my bad. And then
you're
today I was hustling from Utah County and traffic.
Oh,
I called. I did call early. So, anyways, how do I?
Yeah, we just have this on the agenda that
Okay.
it is tax forgiveness on a property recently purchased, and that's pretty much the extent of the information that we have. So, yeah, if you can maybe just give us a brief explanation of what's happening on that property and what you're looking for.
Okay, so back in August, September last year, me and my partner, we purchased what was formerly known as 5C's Mobile Home Community. It's still 5C's Storage, but we bought the mobile home community there right by Anderson Livestock. Kind of seems to be the common landmark. Do you know where we're at?
yeah.
And we changed it to Fox Hill Mobile Home Community. We did our due diligence, and we've been in there improving it. I've been in visiting with several people in the county trying to create some partnerships and kind of communicate with you guys on some of our plans in there. And I think so far it's going good. When we had looked for taxes, we had looked for the property. And then it was kind of a learning lesson to us because this is our first mobile home community. That when we had an abandoned home in there, that it was a learning thing that to get that file for an abandoned title from the Department of Motor Vehicles, we needed to square up taxes. So it was like, oh, more taxes. And so somebody at the county, and I don't remember who, when I came in and visited with somebody, these fine people, had suggested maybe I could approach the commissioners and, ask for forgiveness on the taxes and get on the docket. So it'd be not for the property, but the land, but the mobile home, which is kind of like a vehicle. And so then I have there's a family that lives in the park right now, and we really like them. And they have like 3 or 4 different units in our community there that one of their family members wants to take over that place and fix it up and add value, which will create because it really, at some point, they were going to remove it from the park, which would, be bad for everybody. And so our vision is to fix it up. So meaning I have a buyer right now, sorry, finish the sentence, move on to the next thought, is that we have somebody that we like, we want to give it to them, we want to square up the taxes, get the title fixed, and then our vision is to improve it, get somebody living in there, create a more opportunity for the county to get more taxes going forward. And we're doing a lot of good things in this community so that I think the assessor will like us once we're done. And if I can please ask kindly if the commissioners will consider forgiving any past due taxes on that single unit so that I could apply for a abandoned title and move forward with that process. That would be my request. Thank you.
How long had this place been abandoned? Do you
I think several years. There's not a lot of records. One thing we're doing is coming in, we're automating everything. We're keeping really good records. Moving forward, we'll be able to give you way better indication of tenants and whatnot. It's sort of run off of handshakes and mom and pop kind of, but I would venture to say, from what I understand, 2 to 3 years.
So if somebody abandons that and you purchase the property, especially I'm assuming that they would owe back pad fee, rental, does the ownership of that just revert to you as the owner of the park and the pad where it sits?
The home, the home
since it's abandoned?
becomes a part of we acquire it, good or bad. So if it's
And you had no idea going into it that this was an abandoned property?
we did know it was abandoned, but we had thought it was abandoned and it was going to be removed, which would be sort of the normal thing.
But you couldn't
I have
put a title.
experience, I have experience renovating these in other communities. And so I said, hey, why spend $2,000 removing that thing? Let's fix it up. Let's get somebody living in there.
Green title, yeah.
Okay.
So it was never.
Do you have something to add, Mr. Bennett?
Actually, it is not part of the property. Mobile homes are personal property, so it would not have been part of the transfer. He's trying to get it so he can transfer the personal property into his name. He really has no right to it other than he's willing to do it.
Gotcha.
He has to do and claim ownership, make sure no one has a claim through the motor vehicles and through the state. So it's really not part of the land purchase
It just happened to be there.
there, but he's got to go through a whole other process to take ownership.
Oh, okay.
Since it's abandoned. Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That clears it up.
Thanks for the clarification. Yeah,
Thanks, Rod.
yes, I don't own, you're right. I guess that is technically correct.
Okay, that makes sense. So if you're successful in doing this, then you would be able to keep it there on the pad. You have somebody that would like to purchase that,
Yeah.
and then they would just leave it there and they would be able to live in
Yeah.
there.
It can never be real. And maybe Mr. Bennett can help me. I don't think it could ever be hauled out of there. It's too old to. I think that might be the reason
It's
it
still
would
there.
sort of not belong to the park, but maybe,
You'd have to haul it out in pieces.
who's going to take it?
All right.
That's what we talked.
I think it was 420.
33.
Okay.
A little more of the history, the park owners that
Have Rod come up here.
We got to hear you, Rodney.
Sorry, Rod.
you can't hear me.
Well, I can.
The microphone can't.
Marla needs it recorded.
Just as a background, it's a property that was abandoned when the Cooks owned it. They have wanted us to seize and sell it for multiple years. The problem is there's no value for us. So we have chose not to seize and sell it, but they'd call us each year and say, well, will you come and take this? Because then I think we had a discussion about this a couple of years ago.
We did.
I was
It
gonna
cost
ask
the
if this
county
was one.
$1,000 to haul it out to the landfill. So that's the history of it. That helps it all. I don't
Okay.
It's a learning lesson for me too.
I own storage sheds, so I know what you're talking about when
Yeah.
somebody decides to just get up and go, so.
Okay. No, that makes sense because I do remember talking about this one in the past, and so,
It just made no value for us to be able to just, they wanted us to come take it because nobody was paying on it. And we're just like,
I'm
Yeah,
thinking that this would be mutually beneficial for the county because we wouldn't have to worry about taking possession of it. If you have an owner and somebody's gonna have a house to live in,
and thank you. Yeah.
so.
is that a motion? Oh, you can't make a motion.
No, I'm just sitting in the middle.
I'd make a motion this one time on this one property that we forgive those taxes and see if we can't mutually come up to an agreement that will help you and them in the future, so,
Thank you.
The 42033?
yeah,
42033.
Yeah.
whatever
I'll
Commissioner
second that.
Hadfield said.
Okay, very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we'll just need to get that issued through the office so that you have that and you can take it into Department of Motor Vehicles and get that squared
Okay.
away.
Who do I communicate with?
Probably
Is it Rod or is it
Rod or-
Between
taxes? The Sean?
Rod and Sean and Tom and,
Just call.
Yeah, I can take that back. We'll have to see what Tom has to publish.
EIO.
yeah.
And we will have to on the other one to see on this one.
All right, thank you. And we're open to any feedback, anything you guys want us to see improved in there. We're looking forward to making this a nice community for the. So we got good plans, and we don't want to be a local sort of slumlords. We really, and I'm not saying it was a slum before. Just the stigma of a.
Right.
So we're changing it from a mobile home park to mobile home community. So
Oh, there you
that's
go.
sort of the terminology. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Jason.
Is it courtesy to stick around, or can I leave?
Oh, no.
You can, we're not
No.
offended.
Yeah, we will not be offended, believe me. Thanks, sir. All right. Let's see. Benjamin, Utah Red Cross.
I do the same, giving you my
Business card,
contact
in case we ever need you.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. So I'm Benjamin Donner. I'm the brand new executive director for Northern Utah and the American Red Cross. My whole purpose in being here is to introduce myself. I'm hearing what's going on with the fires. I got text messages saying that exact same thing. There are 36 fires, right, that have started, et cetera. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we're here, that we're active, that we're here to serve, we're here to help. Not asking for anything, we just want to make sure that we take care of the community. I spoke with one of my disaster program managers who said we do have a very good relationship with Mark Millett, and so we're active in that respect, but I didn't know anyone, so I've had the pleasure of meeting various individuals here in the building that recommended I come and introduce myself. I do want to get the word out to the community even more so on the various aspects of what we can do to help the community in home fires. I know there aren't a lot of home fires here.
We just had one this weekend.
Was the American Red Cross called?
I don't think so.
That's, and I know that's not top of mind, but I've been on site at the multiplex fire down in Layton, et cetera. When the fires happen, our absolutely amazing firefighters are taking care of that. We are on call 24/7 to take care of the family that might be standing there watching their home burn. And so that, as long as we are called by dispatch, by fire department, the county, et cetera, 24/7, we will send somebody to make sure they have a place to stay, that they have funds to get clothing. We don't have a lot, it's all donated. We do not receive government funding, but it is something that is part of our mission, and that's what we do 24/7. And so I want to make sure that that's communicated, and we're here to do whatever we can in helping to train in emergency preparedness. I don't know the history of how active we've been, but now that I'm here, that's my top priority, to make sure the community knows that we're here to help wherever
And if
we
there's
can.
anything you can get to us, we can put it on our website and
Yeah.
our social media and things like that. And then I just text your name and your card to the people who had their house burned out.
Yeah,
so-
absolutely,
Oh.
absolutely.
And typically, we have been offering that. Most of the stuff that we deal with the county
Outstanding.
Keep talking, and you're going to have to come up.
As long as you stick close to Mark Millett too, he's done a great job, and when he's
Amazing.
had the floods and things, like,
Yes.
he's had the American Red Cross involved, and so, yeah, he's on
Absolutely.
top of
They
things.
helped a
good.
bunch with our flooding a couple years ago.
That's one thing I would
I've heard a
echo.
lot about that, so.
With Mark, they were having a emergency service managers meeting from time to time. And so they would get the EMS directors from each of the municipalities together and kind of go over things. So that would be a great place to introduce yourself and probably talk to all of the players in one setting.
You from
So-
Ogden North, or
Actually, from
Southern
North Salt
Wyoming.
Lake up to the Idaho border
Which
and
is
out
us.
to Wyoming, yeah,
which is us?
exactly. And even into Wyoming a little bit, so.
very
And I guess one thing, just as a general comment, oftentimes I'll see where it's asked, as he mentioned, it's asked, would you like the Red Cross to come? I would make a special request. Call us, let us send our caseworkers out. Oftentimes in that situation, they don't know what they don't know. We're not asking, we never ask for them to pay anything back or anything like that. But we do send caseworkers to help them figure out, what do you do? What is that first thing? And so just a thought going forward, but we love the partnership, and we're here to help wherever we can.
And it didn't even come to my mind when Val was texting me back and forth about that, because I sent him to Corey and I sent him to Mark, and so now I'll put your name in my contact information, and when they call me, I'll call you.
And we are currently hiring for a new disaster program manager, who that will be their sole focus up here in northern Utah. I oversee kind of the entire process. Once we have that individual, I'll make sure that's communicated, their contact information as well.
So if my life is a disaster, can I just walk right into
I've had a
that?
few of those come into my office today, and unfortunately,
I
not so
thought
much.
maybe that would be my resume. I could just get hired. Yeah, you should.
Any
Very good.
questions for me? Anything while I'm here I can do?
No,
don't.
thanks
I
for
think
the
we're good.
intro.
Appreciate
Thanks
you
for
coming
coming up
and
and
reaching out to us. Yeah.
Put a face with the name. So
It's a pleasure
Okay.
being here.
yeah, we know who to call, and we hope we don't have to.
Amen to that.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thanks, Benjamin.
All right, 522, Mr. Montgomery isn't here. Just by way of a recap on this, it's a section corner monument replacement grant that was applied for. We received the funding on that, and so we just need to basically approve the acceptance of the contract and the funding, so.
I'd go ahead and make a motion that we accept the funding for the grant contract of 19-40.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor? Aye. Very good. Mr. Bennett, we spoke about this a little bit earlier. We get a lot of calls anytime that there's been a reevaluation or reassessment of properties on a 5-year cycle. And so we figured it'd be good for this to be on the record and get the word out on how that actually works and what happens. So
Yeah, we
we're going to turn it over to the expert.
Appreciate you coming in and visiting with us.
Thank you. First of all, I've already spoke more than I should ever talk in a commission meeting, and I haven't even started yet.
I'll
so-
second that.
Although you need somebody to pull the reins in on you, buddy. Second of all, I'm not community development. Who in the heck puts up the commission meetings?
That would be Chrissy.
Thanks, Chrissy. Okay. Now to get serious, you guys know that,
Community development instead of,
development?
you should realize.
It's all right.
What?
Hers is right.
Be careful with those abbreviations. Anyway,
You guys know this is the fun time of the year for the assessor's office. The valuation notices have gone out. People don't see what the values are, they see what their taxes are. And so we get a lot of calls. So I was just asked to come and talk a little bit about a few things that are important at this time for, I think everybody understands them, but it's always good to kind of talk about them again. We have appeals through the
15th of September that we will allow appeals. So if someone thinks their value is wrong, they can come in and talk to us, they can file an appeal, and we will look at those properties. The thing that we need to stress and that we spend a lot of time talking is, like I said, most of the time we don't hear about values, we hear about taxes. The only thing the assessor's office, the only responsibility that we have is the market valuation. The only thing that's appealable is the market valuation. So market value, I can give you the official one, but it's, if you were to sell your home, what would you sell the home for? That's basically what we're tasked in doing. One of the questions that comes up to us quite a bit is the 5-year reappraisal. We're required by law to do valuation adjustments every year, which it didn't used to be that way. I can say I've been here long enough that that's not how it was in the past. But as well as looking at values on every property and making sure they're close to where they're supposed to do, we're required to do a physical inspection once every 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean we walk through the home. We don't have the manpower. We don't have the time. We can't find people at home. But we do take pictures. We look at the outsides of each of the homes. We look at aerial photography. And we actually are creating a new model each time that we do that.
And that comes down from the state every 5 years, right?
That's a law that the state has mandated that we do. We don't have a choice.
Right.
This year, the reappraisal areas that were part of that 5-year reappraisal cycle was Harper Ward, Manaway, Tremonton, Garland, Deweyville, Honeyville. I think that's the ones that we have this year. We've heard quite a bit from a lot of people. Most of the times when we get down to it, we ask them what they think about their value, and they say, well, the value's not wrong. I just don't like that my taxes went up. So really at that point, the appeal process can't help them a whole lot. And I just want you guys, I think you guys are aware of that, but really what we're looking at is that market value. That's why I say that.
So I actually have stopped a couple of people and said two things. I said, so if you look at your Box Elder County taxes, you realize your taxable amount has actually went down from the year before, and they're surprised. Mm-hmm. And then I also say, would you be having the same phone call if it would have been 07 and 08 when everybody's values went down? So, because like you say, they just basically look over at the end and they think the county is having all these tax revenues come in, but we're only one portion. Even though you're going to do the assessment of that property would make everything go up from mosquito abatement to, you know, the school district and everybody else, but our portion is just a little bit of that portion of that tax. But like you say multiple times, all they're looking is at the end result. Mm-hmm. So
Manaway has been one of the most vocal, with good reason. With the tax increase plus valuations, Manaway, as you know, is becoming the new Ogden Valley. Prices are going, for a person that's lived there for 50 years, it's hard to see their values go up. I sympathize with that. I understand that, but by law, that's not what I can do. Just so you guys understand, and it's out there as well, we always talk about the audits that we have for our auditor, that they're making sure our finances are doing good. The point I want to make is we are audited by the state even more often than our county auditors are. We have someone come from the state to audit and make sure we're doing things right every month. The new law that went in, and I think you guys are aware of that, it used to be that we had to be between 90 and 110%, and this is in an aggregate. So we aren't looking at an individual house, we're looking at an area. So Brigham City area, we also, and I'll talk about that just real quickly in a second, but if we're outside of that, the state will give us a mandate, whether it's court ordered or if they need to do a court order, they will make it that we have to be within that 95 to 105% now. So the times when in the past when counties would try to lower it down so they'd pay a smaller portion of the uniform school funds is basically going away. And we had a lot of talks with the assessors that says, well, now we got to raise it not only to catch up to what we were, but to there. We were not in that situation. Ours is just because it's the market values that we're doing.
We don't create the market values. We read the market values, and then we try to apply them uniformly through the properties that are out there. So the first thing I would ask if someone's talking is your value wrong? If not, it really needs to go to the entities.
Well, and if it would have went down, it would have went down, like in 07 and 08. If you'd have done a market value research in like 07 and 08.
We actually did lower the values on most homes for a couple of years. We're sometimes just a little behind because we have to collect the data. You don't have the data at the first of the year when we're doing it, so, but that is true. If values go down, but then the tax rates go up,
Well,
so.
and then like what you're saying, Rod, if you're not within that parameter and the state comes in and says, hey, we're going to, then they take over and they start doing it. I think we'd much rather have you guys doing it than having the state trying to do it for us.
And I was going to say that, I appreciate that. I believe it's better to have our local control and making sure that we're taking care of it and just making those decisions rather than have the state.
Okay.
Just I was talking about the audits that we do. I do have a memorandum of understanding. If you guys want to see it, I can leave it with you. But they're looking at which properties we're looking at each year. They're making sure that our comparable, or that the homes that have sold, they're checking our values. So if Commissioner Hatfield, if your home sells this year, they get wind of it, and they will find it. They're going to see what we have on the county for your value and compare it to. That's the sales ratio that they check with us. They compare that we're treating everybody the same, so we have to have equity, so we're not treating one house differently than the other. They're checking to make sure that we're getting through our reappraisal areas on that 5-year cycle. And then within it, I don't want to get into it a lot, but they're actually making sure that we're keeping, let me just give you a real quick list, and then if you want, like I say, if you guys want this, you're welcome to it, but we have to have the class of properties, multiple listing numbers if there are, serial numbers, sales dates, sales prices, adjusted sales prices, market land, market improvement ratios, regions, districts, neighborhoods, lot size, floor areas, year builts, effective ages. That's something that they are looking every year to make sure that we have within our files, and they actually come and audit on those. So we take pride in trying to be as close to 100% as we can. We realize some are going to fall out of that. That's why we have the appeal process, is because if yours are not right, it doesn't benefit us to be wrong. We want you to come in and talk to us, and we want to get it taken care of. But it is important that you as a commission and that the people know that even if we didn't bring the values to there, they're going to be changed. And like you said, would a lot rather have it done right and us be doing our jobs than having the state come in and trying to say, well, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with somebody just 2 days ago, and I invited them to this meeting, but I think after I talked with them, they kind of were like what you say. They like the value that they have, but they just don't like the tax that's associated with it.
Well, and
So-
when you brought that up to us, 2 commissions ago and said,
So that you'd be a little aware of what
oh,
was
yeah,
coming.
because
Yeah.
believe me, we've had plenty of phone calls, and I'm glad we're engaged enough to know kind of what's going on, so.
I had a
So-
call
so
this
mine.
week, and once I had a chance to explain it, he was very grateful for the knowledge, and that taxes don't go up. Your value goes up, but the rate goes down. The only time taxes go up is if one of the entities actually raises it. And he understood that, and then he decided that he was going to call one of the entities that was raising it and have a visit with them, which totally appropriate. So
Absolutely.
anyway, no, great explanation. We
just wanted to
appreciate
have
you and
it
your
on the
staff.
YouTube, and everybody can come in and listen to it, and then if they need any more information, your office has been great by the email, and so.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We do try to take care of the people. We realize there are going to be some mistakes, but our purpose is to be
Well,
market value.
and once again, we collect all the taxes, and we only
So
do
you
a
heard
portion of our
again.
taxes,
And then we remit it.
and then we remit it, but people don't understand that we're not in charge of all the taxes that are being taken care of, so.
Very small part of it.
Very
Any other questions that you guys have?
No,
thanks,
thank you.
Rod.
No,
We're
Thank you
hoping
for
this
the
video will
opportunity, and
go viral.
yeah.
Thank
No,
for the
thank you, Rod.
opportunity, and we'll,
Appreciate the info.
No, we appreciate all your work. Thanks,
Yeah.
Rod.
Thanks, sir.
Slacking on some things. There's
All right. What do we got coming up next, Commish?
Community development.
It looks like it's the Scott Lyon Show.
Okay, so
Thought I was gonna have to throw something at you, wake you up.
Getting close there.
We were just riveting, weren't we?
Let me see.
All right, let's see what's first. LJ Cummings subdivision. This is a 3-lot subdivision out on Iowa String Road, located at about 4400 North. Yeah, each lot is 5.5 acres. One is 6.03 acres, so just in that 5.5 to 6 acre mark. And it's been reviewed by all applicable departments and comes before you with a recommendation of approval. In addition to the subdivision, there is a subdivision improvement agreement to take care of some improvements, fire hydrant that needs to be put in as part of the development, so.
You writing down a question?
I'm good. You
Got
got any
it.
questions?
Sorry, Ben quit working. Did you gentlemen have any questions on this? I was at Planning Commission, so I'm kind of
No, I
familiar with this one.
Looked
so.
over it, and I think it's fine, so I'd make a motion that we approve the LJ Cummins subdivision and subdivision improvement agreement 1941.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
All right. The next one is the Flint Estates subdivision. This one as well is a 3-lot subdivision. This one is located on 2600 North and about 3000 West. So it is just north of Corinne. These lots are approximately, let's see, 1.7 to 2.9 acres in size. This one as well has been reviewed by all applicable departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Any questions on this one, gentlemen?
Oh, I would make a motion we approve the Flint Estates subdivision.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item is the Rod Ashby subdivision vacate. So it has been requested by Rodney and Roseanne Ashby that the Rod Ashby subdivision be vacated. It was a 2-lot subdivision approved, I believe, originally in the year 2000. Anyway, they are requesting now at this time that that subdivision be vacated and that those 2 lots be combined back into 1 lot. And this can be done by ordinance. The ordinance number is 499. This has been through the Planning Commission and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Okay.
I'm good.
Any questions?
No.
I'll make a motion we approve the Ashby subdivision vacate ordinance 499.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is a text amendment, and this would amend the A20 and the MG zones. This is ordinance number 500. In a legislative session in December of 2018, the state passed legislation that requires counties to allow cannabis production establishments, is how the state defines them, in at least 1 agricultural zone and 1 industrial zone. So the zones proposed by the County Planning Commission are the A20 zones and the MG zones. It's our largest agricultural zone and our most intense industrial zone that would allow for these cannabis production establishments.
So when they come for their business licenses, they'll be able to be put into these zones?
Yeah, so if they contact the county looking for a place to locate, and this is, for those I think the state has like 10 permits, and I think they approved 7 or 8
And we have
growers.
2 in our county.
I've spoken with one that has, talked about it. I think another one may be looking in Corinne. So,
And the one that would be out in the Corinne area, that happens to be in that zone.
yeah. So, anyway, this is basically the whole purpose of this text amendment is to bring us into compliance with
Compliance.
state code. So,
Okay.
it's been before the planning commission. A public hearing was held at that level, and the planning commission has forwarded a recommendation of approval.
And this is kind of similar to our landfill corridor, where just because it's approved there, it doesn't mean
It
that they get in. I mean, they've got to apply, they've got to have a license, they got to have a permit. And so it's just complying with statute to have a place for them if they're permitted.
Yeah, and the language there that we added, that was something, one of the concerns the planning commission had was that we didn't just leave it wide open as this cannabis production establishment. They wanted it to be clear that it's a cannabis production establishment as licensed, permitted, and authorized by the state of Utah. So, someone couldn't just come in and want to start one that wasn't in compliance with state regulations. So,
I'd make a motion, we approve the text amendment 820 and MG zones by ordinance number 500.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
final item is resolution number 19-05. This is a resolution, landowners Stanley G. Summers and Kelly C. Summers have requested that land be removed from the East Tree Mountain Agricultural Protection Area. That was created in June 23rd of 1998. So it is requested that approximately 3 acres be removed from that agricultural protection area. The state code basically reads that if a landowner that owns land within an agricultural protection area requests to be removed from that agricultural protection area, the county commission shall grant the petition for removal of land from an agricultural protection area. So, with that being said, I guess the request is that resolution 19-05 be approved. One condition I would say should be added to that motion to approve. We don't have the final legal description quite yet, and once we have that, it would be added to it, and then we'd want it to be reviewed by the county attorney. So we foresee that happening within the next couple days, and so it would make sense to me to approve it and then add that information to it, and then it can be recorded.
Okay.
And I can't make a motion or second it, so it's up to you guys.
I'll make a motion.
Conflict of
We
interest.
approve the removal of agricultural protection by resolution 19-05 pending the change in number and also review by county attorney.
I will second that. I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by myself. All in favor?
Aye.
You might want
And
to
then-
say that I abstain.
Yeah, well, can you have that in the record, Marla?
Got it.
Okay. Very good.
Did you want to sign these now, or do you want to wait till after that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can sign those. So,
And if anybody ever wants to hire us to do that ag protection thing, just let us know, because that was a whole lot of not fun.
You've got a pen?
Yeah.
Had no
Rather
idea.
go to the dentist?
Rather go to anywhere.
okay, so let's see.
We had no idea that my dad had put it in there
Really?
until we went to sell it. And then, well, we went to annex it, then to sell it. I've still been doing that ever since.
Yeah.
Yep. How many more fires we had, Corey, since you've been here? Oh, I just seen you going out and forth. I just figured that your thing kept buzzing. We were, I kept counting 12, 13.
Subdivision improvement agreement.
Oh, we don't want to do that. How many did we do that one year when it was about 150 something fires? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We should have put out on the 411 that says, please do not have a house fire, please do not, because, please don't do fireworks out in the middle of the swamp and,
Okay.
Do those need to be
Cool.
notarized?
Yes. And she has the ordinances, but you can do those.
Yeah, I think we'll do it.
I had somebody come out to the house and was like, what happened to your mountain?
I'll take them in. Does
It
it just
burnt.
need an attest, or does it need a notary as well?
This one is this one's
I just found your drawer.
Oh, did you? I shouldn't laugh, but.
But it's funny.
Glad somebody else feels my pain.
Do you think we could just put a three-thing filing cabinet right there and then just have these gone?
So we can roll back into it.
Well,
So that's where
you need to lock that door.
this is where you.
Did you see that, whoever just came in your door?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, lock that so nobody comes in the back.
So I'll do it if you want me, I'll take it.
I always make
do
sure
it in the
mine's
morning.
locked.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought Joan was
Put it all together since it all belongs together.
Did you recognize who it was?
No,
I just seen a guy.
I didn't see anybody.
I just opened up.
Okay.
That's the last thing Corey asked me when I was leaving. He said, you got your gun? No.
Got Dale.
Okay. I think it's Corey's turn again.
Yes.
Corey Barton Fire, in case you didn't know, if you needed that. This is a cooperative agreement between us and the State Lands of Forestry to install a water source, a perpetual water source out there in the south end of Grouse Creek. This is CAT fire money that needs to be utilized. The well would be on Bill Kimber's, or Bill Kimber's place.
Bill Kimber, yeah.
Yeah, it'll give us access to the pivot line and water storage out there at all
How
times.
big?
So,
I don't think you told me how big it was gonna be.
it's actually just a constant flow source.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we can. It's a
Fill
it-
trucks up off? Oh, okay.
Yep. So it'll
Spring
have
box.
it'll have a pad there. We can use it. We don't have to contract every time we go out there to use it. So it's going to be a good deal for us. We usually wind up having to do contracts every time we get out there. This will be just anytime, 24/7. We can go there and utilize
awesome.
the water. It's making improvements to his system, so it benefits him and obviously benefits us greatly.
Not that this happens very often, but would roads have access to it if they needed it?
Yes,
as
they
well?
would.
Okay.
Yep.
Does
Because
Bill
that'll
know?
happen every once in a while. So.
Does
Yeah.
Bill know? Does
Bill probably doesn't know yet, but
Oh,
I'm sure.
Well, you
Okay.
never know, though. Sometimes there's just
There's not a disconnect between those
Yeah.
two, so that's good. So,
every time you say Bill Kimber, I can still remember us out on that road and watching the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just holding our breath and we were watching all the tenders and everything go around it. And all of a sudden, those two planes just crossed. Remember that?
That red
Yeah.
ring all the way around
Right
his
on
house.
top of his house.
Yeah.
yeah.
That saved his house. And
Yep, it did.
So,
So
yeah.
this is something we kind of
Cool.
got a bad deal with one landowner on the water last year, so this is.
This will
gonna-
be cool.
Yeah,
Because
this-
Bill will be
this-
there forever. So
Yep.
that's awesome.
And even if
This is good.
if the property sells, then we still have access to that all the
Cool.
time. So I'm just looking for signature on here from our commissioners, and we'll
Who's
be good to
making the
go.
motion on this one? Whose turn is it? Is it my turn? Your turn?
I'll make a motion when we approve the MOU 19-42 for water supply in Grouse Creek.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks, Corey.
This is cool.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.
Good work. I was thinking maybe we were gonna put in a small Aetna. That's why I just thinking
Yeah.
maybe go.
Okay.
And then once the other two signatures are on there, it'll have a contract number and will come back to us, so.
Okay.
Cool.
Hopefully I got that in the right place.
When he gets done with his signature, I will make a motion that we go into a closed session to discuss personnel. Hey, guessed that one quick, didn't I? Yeah, and then when I heard it was so close to 84, this last one, I had nightmares about me and Millet going out there getting all that luggage off those buses.
Yeah, we were doing really good, and then all of a sudden the wind shifted, and it actually blew over our dozer line
Really?
right there at 84, but we had Salt Lake Hill attack there, and 2 of our county engines, Todd Richards and one from Korean, that were able to get lines down the road, and we got a
That's
couple of seed
great.
drops on it, which helped us too, so.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah,
Tell
thanks, Cory.
everybody we appreciate them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people wanting water and granola bars and everything, so if you ever
Okay.
get to the point where we're out of the 100,000 pallets from Niagara, let us know.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good.
I'm going to second.
My motion of going into a closed session to talk about personnel.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good.
My taxes in 2015 were $1,200. This year, they're $1,900. What we need to do is work on making the government smaller, so we get rid of the property taxes, so people can actually own their property, not rent it back from the government. So that's
Okay.
making the government
We're into a
smaller.
closed session now.
I just, you don't get a lot of public comments, so,
Wow.
and I don't have time to wait around when you're done.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Have all these farmers hiring illegal.
Oh, yeah, that's you.
I said if we didn't have these dairy farms, illegal aliens renting the houses under,
Listen to
paying
this.
them under the table, then we'd get taxes from Hardy Dairy.
Yeah. And the thing is, she didn't listen to anything that Rod said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Let's,